I'd promised Fred I'd build the laboratory, but sadly Fred died when I was actually in Eritrea, and I was queuing to phone up Gabby and say, you can't build this plant, because nothing was working. There was no running water. My hotel had no running water. I was sleeping on a mattress forged by a masochist, and just like I had been in orphanages in the UK when I was growing up. And I thought, you know, I promised Fred, but I was unlikely with my background that I was going to meet him in heaven. So I thought I'd just phone up Gabby, and I queued for about half a day to the only working telephone, which was in the post office. And all of these women were in front of me in Habashas. And a woman in front, a baby was crying, and she unwrapped that baby, and the whole of one side of his face was burned to the bone with napalm because of the result of the war. I couldn't sleep. In the morning I got up and I phoned Gabby. I managed to get through to Gabby, and I said, Gabby, it's going to be bloody near impossible to build this plant, but I promise I'll do it. You know, Fred had put this bony finger in my chest when I met him at Farnham House, and said, do something bloody useful with your life instead of making money out of sick people. And at that moment I knew that I was probably one of the few people in the world who could do it. I had this band of technicians that we were doing it anyway. I wasn't married, I was mobile, and it was going to be bloody hard, and it was bloody hard. But it was a brilliant launching ground for the technology we developed, because we had to be totally innovative day one. And I think what's happened today, when I've come back, you know, 30 years later to the lab we built here in Nepal, that philosophy's continued and been magnified. I'm extraordinarily proud of all these guys. When we first had our audit, this was after all the work had been done, and an auditor came from Australia, and he was one of the SGS audit team, and he was going to say whether the factory was world-class standards. And all of the team were in the room for the audit, and he asked us to leave while he did his final summation. And they were all outside. We were all outside. We were terrified. I was more terrified than anybody else, because if we failed, I would have let them down. You know, my team had tried really hard to over-engineer everything and make it perfect. And I was really frightened. And then we got called in, and the auditor said, I'm pleased to advise you that you've got ISO 13485 certified by CE Mark SGS. And the room erupted. All of the Nepalese just jumped to their feet and hugged each other. I was there like a muppet. I didn't know what to do, because you know, it was almost unbelievable. Well, coming back after 30 years, two things really was, I was very impressed with the progress that had been made in automating the whole process that we started with, and also very surprised in a way that so many of the original people were there, and they were welcoming me like an old friend. But I think that's a reflection on the culture of Tilganga, that there's so many people. I haven't done the calculation, but we're talking about hundreds of years of experience now in this facility, which gives a great understanding of quality. The one thing, the overarching thing that Fred taught me was that one person can change the world, you know, and he believed it. He actually believed it. Well, Fred was never somebody who patted himself on the back. And like me, I don't think. Fred and I are like Italian racing drivers. What's behind us doesn't matter. It's what's in front that matters. And he would say, well, that's great, but what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? My armoury of skills has got bigger, and also my connections has got bigger. And probably I can help with some of the heavy lifting with the new plant that they're trying to build. And I hope they'll accept that offer of you know, help, and we can work together to make something truly remarkable. I think I think that Fred's dream was that everybody globally would have access, and that's a big dream. But actually, with all the things that are going on that we've got and the tools we've got, I believe it's possible. I believe it's actually possible.
We are so happy. Yeah. Actually, we all are learning from technical knowledge from Mr. Rayatri. So when we started, we over-engineered everything. We overtrained you, made sure that you couldn't make any mistakes, and you carried on that legacy.
And so I'm extremely proud of all you guys. I'm very humbled at what you've done since the last 30 years. So thank you so much for making not only Fred Hollow's dream come true, but my dream. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I wrote to Ruit and said that I wanted to get my eyes done for two reasons. One was because I wanted people to know that this is a safe facility for not only operations, but the lenses that go in are world class. And I wouldn't put them into my eye if I didn't think they were safe. And maybe, just maybe, that might encourage people to buy the lenses and say they are safe and they are world class standard. And the other one was that I learned that Ruit was going to expand the laboratory, and when I wrote to him asking him if he would do the operation, he kindly said yes. He said, you know, God has sent you back to us at this particular time. You know, this is fate. You've come back at the precise time. So I'm looking forward to helping them to do the next thing.
Yeah. It's very nice of you to come here, eh?
Oh no, I wanted to do it because I think it's important that people realise that this is one of the most professional eye care centres in the world. It's not, and of course,
this is you know, what's really important is you came here and helped us to build the lab, and not only build a lab, which was part of you and your Fred's dream, but I think you also allowed no rooms for compromise in the quality and engineering the whole place. That was all your idea and your work. And then you went further, so we could certify it in some ways. And you came up with the ISO certification and all the fights we did with it.
And Ray was, I would say, very instrumental, really. And like I said, this was a totally new thing for us. The building of the hard sort of the space for the lab, and the engineering of the fittings inside, and what to use, and how should we go in stages. It was totally new. So Ray was instrumental in getting the whole engineering of the processes, one. And two, I think Ray was all in the beginning. So that really helped us to use his experience in certification. When Fred made a statement, if these lenses are expensive, why not we make it here? But that was a very bold statement. But what was coming after that was very difficult. How to find a place and how to make it, how to get the manpower, and how to look at the different components of the standard operating procedure. And that's where I think Ray was very good. Ray was extremely good. I think Ray's timing coming to Nepal has been fantastic. And somebody like Ray would definitely help us to and be part of the process of getting to the next level, where we are thinking of increasing the volume, setting up another facility which can become world class. And it's not only that. I think it's something that the country can be proud of, and will make the authorities and the people of Nepal proud of having a facility like this in Nepal. And that's really the issue that I have. I want to make something that the people of Nepal will take pride in.